Ultra. When someone uses that word to describe something, you automatically assume it's the best of the best, the top of the top. Last year, Samsung released the S20 Ultra. Now we can all sit here and agree that it fell short of the true meaning of the word. Now this year, Samsung released the S21, and finally, the word Ultra deserves to be next to the name. This is Manny with one more reviews. I've had the phone for a week. This is our full review. Although last year's model lacked in some key features, Samsung has always excelled in their displays. This year is no different. With the 6.8-inch OLED screen that you get with the S21 Ultra, you still get Samsung's vibrant colors, but with a little more. Now we get 1500 nits of brightness. Let me tell you that is bright. No matter how harsh the sunlight is outside, you're still gonna be able to see your screen, but we finally get what we've all been asking for, and that's that 120 Hz refresh rate paired up with the Quad HD resolution. Something that last year's model lacked, something that iPhone still lacks. Features that we had with last year's model, but it was give or take. If you wanted the buttery smooth 120 refresh rate, you had to step down to HD. And if you wanted the Quad HD resolution, you had to step down and you couldn't use that 120 refresh rate. With a price tag of $1,200, I think the S21 Ultra is the best bang for your buck. It does come in a variety of different colors. You do get the Phantom Black, which to me, in my opinion, is the best color on any smartphone out there. You get the Phantom Silver, and you do get 3 other colors, but they're custom made, so you have to wait a little bit longer to get it. Now for storage, you get 3 different tiers. You get the 128 gigabyte, you get the 256 and the 512. You also get 12 gigabytes of RAM, but it does bump up the RAM on the 512. You get 16 gigabytes of RAM in the 512 variant of this phone. And the brains behind the S21 Ultra is the latest and greatest Snapdragon 888 processor, which is the fastest processor out there on a smartphone to date. But I think the biggest step forward and the biggest improvement that they did on this phone over last year's phone is with the cameras. As if one camera wasn't enough, this phone has 4 cameras. In the front of this bad boy, you get the 40 megapixel selfie shooter, so you can take the best, the nicest Instagram photos and put them there on Instagram. Then when you go to the back of the phone, you have the ultra wide 12 megapixel camera. You have the wide 108 megapixel camera, which is the same as last year, but they made it a little bit better. You have 2 telephoto lens. You have the telephoto lens with a 10 megapixel camera, 3 times optical zoom. And then you have the second one that has 10 times optical zoom, also 10 megapixel camera. So now you can zoom in 100 times. It's much better than last year's, much sharper. The image is much better. As you can see here, I took some images of the moon. I did a 30 times and 100 times, and you can see that it looks amazing. Compared to last year's results, you couldn't even tell what you were taking pictures of. To be completely honest with you, and all of my friends know this, I've always bounced back from Samsung to Apple, Apple to Samsung. I've always been back and forth through both companies. And I think the deciding matter, the reason why I have gone back and forth, is because of the camera. Samsung launches a new phone, I get the new phone, but the camera lacks something. But here comes Apple and launches their phone, and their camera is just better. And not better by a lot, not better by the actual camera, but just the processing of the pictures. The images look more realistic, they look sharper. Samsung always tends to make the pictures look over-processed at times, and that's always been my deciding matter on why I jump back and forth. But to be honest, this year, I don't see myself going back to iPhone. I don't see myself downloading the Google APK cam on this because there's no need to. They finally fixed the camera. Back in the day when you used to take selfies with the Samsungs, they would just look like, you would look pale, you would look like a doll. Even if you turned off the beauty mode, it still didn't look realistic. This year they changed that. You look normal when you take a picture, and I think that they've outdid themselves with the camera. I don't see myself going back to Apple. I think that these cameras have been perfected finally. I think the algorithm and how they process the pictures is finally getting better, and it's getting to where it should be. We all know and we can all agree that Google always had the best pictures, but in the latest years, they've been far behind. They haven't caught up. iPhone's gotten better with the Pro RAW feature that they've added, and then Samsung this year, I mean, they just outdid themselves. There is no complaints. There is nothing bad I can say about these cameras. Now to the aesthetics of the phone. We talked about this a little bit last week, and to be honest with you, this is the best looking phone out there right now in the market, hands down. I mean, not to mention, the color is absolutely gorgeous. That flat black color is just, it's amazing. Like, doesn't scratch, it just looks good. It's not a fingerprint matinee, so you can just use it without a case and it looks good. You have the shiny aluminum border that kind of gives it like a contrast. You have the shiny lenses, the glass of the lenses that gives it a contrast for the flat black of the actual camera bump. It just looks good. It looks amazing. I mean, it feels good in the hand. It's heavier than last year's model. It does feel heavy. It doesn't feel like a brick, but it is a heavy phone. But I think I like that. One of my favorite phones is the OnePlus 8 Pro. I love that phone, but I think the part about that phone that always got to me is how light it is. I feel like I'm gonna drop it. I feel like I don't have it gripped in my hand. I don't have this problem with my hand. When you grab it, you grab it. You have a hold of it, it's in your hand. I like the way that they integrated the camera bump into the body of the phone. I think it's the best way that anybody's done it right now. OnePlus had the camera in the middle, which kind of give you problems when you put it down on the actual table. Same thing with iPhone, it does have a bump off to the side, but they integrated it into the actual phone. It's a whole different look. It looks different. It, to me, is like the best use of the camera bump that I've seen yet. I can't wait to see what other companies do now, or what even Samsung does on the next one, but I think they're going the right direction. I think this is the way to go. The bump is there, but you don't see it, you don't really feel it like you would on last year's model. So there you have it, guys, the S21 Ultra. Let me tell you, it's here and it's here to stay. My SIM card's in there and it's not going anywhere. I'm gonna put my iPhone to the side. This is my daily driver from now on. Samsung, you guys outdid yourself with this one. No problems with it, hands down, to me, the best smartphone out in the market right now. Guys, I wanna say thank you so much for all the love and support for the last video. Thank you for everything. Please, if you like this video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment down below, I'll respond. We can get into a little conversation about this phone compared to the iPhone. But again, thank you guys. This is Manny signing out with one more review.